like to greet all human beings all around the world with a universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Tonight happened to be Wednesday, December the 18th, 2019. The time being about 5:52 p.m. Just want to say tonight, those of you that's fighting the struggle for justice for all, keep fighting your struggle. Don't stop. You know, there was people, women and men before us doing the same thing, fighting for this same thing. I'm going on 62 next month, and there was people was fighting it before I was born. There has been some progress, but there's still a lot of more progress to go. You know, when you fighting for justice, when you standing up against prejudice, no matter who is the one that's being prejudiced. In the case down here in Charleston, Missouri, I'm personally fighting against white prejudice and blacks that's selling out their race. When I say selling out their race, they prefer to do what the racist individual tell them to do, accept a few dollars for them and their families and friends, and it's all over with. With me, I can't do it. You know, with me, some, you know, they call me a rebel or a troublemaker. That's what they did with Martin Luther King and a lot of other people. Just recently, I seen something where the former president, Barack Obama, made a statement. He's in Asia somewhere when he made it, with his wife doing a tour in Asia. And he said that women would be better leaders than men, and said the old people need to sit down or get out the way. And if women was ruling the world or was in leadership in all the countries in the world, that'd be a better place. I wonder, did he think about that when he was running against Hillary Clinton? Why didn't he move out of the way if women is better leaders? And not saying, you know, I look at individuals, not just women itself. I look at individuals. That statement that he made is a disrespect to Nelson Mandela. May he rest in peace. He was in his 70s, I think about 78, when he became president of South Africa. And he did a good job. I'm glad he didn't move away. You see what I'm saying? Was Obama thinking about this when he was running for senator? Was he thinking about this both times when he was running for president of the United States? Was he thinking about this when he appointed a male to the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, instead of putting two females in there? Surely he wasn't thinking about no blacks going on there. You know, at least Republican did put Clarence Thomas on there. But you know, the same thing that you got to think about is when you call people like me rebels or troublemakers because we stand up against prejudice, you think about the people, black and white, that you have in office that's not doing nothing. You know, do you see anybody really having a big concern about all the killings in the black communities? Do you have any idea how many civil rights leaders in Southeast Missouri, especially in Charleston, Missouri? If there are any, I ain't seen none besides myself. But I want y'all to just listen to something for a minute. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ride downtown. I guess I'm allowed down here. The last time I was riding down in this area, I was stopped by a Charleston, Missouri police officer, and I pulled over right here. Ain't that a coincidence? I pulled over right here, right in front of the post office where you got all this light at. right across the street from this big Baptist church, right down the street from the Charles, Missouri Police Department. But I had my 2 youngest daughters in here with me. Also, I had a few activists from Chicago. But I want y'all to listen to this. You know, when you think about what Obama is saying, you know, it's easy for him to say that now that he can't run no more and he has 2 daughters and a wife. You see what I'm saying? Not only that, you know, most presidents, they look out for the state that they came from. You know what I mean? You know, Obama and Michelle come from Illinois, I'm assuming. You know, I know they was living in Illinois, I believe in High Park. But all this killing over there, do you think that they really care? They over in Asia right now, but they have just bought a home and they can do what they want to do with their money. Just bought a home in Martha Vineyard in Massachusetts for $11.75 million. I think it's 7 rooms or 7 bedrooms. But anyway, just listen to this here. Listen what the doctor had to say.
There's a little song within our breasts, with words of hope and love. The melody blends as we join hands with faith in God above. Dr. Martin Luther King now tells us of this song.
There's a little song that we sing in our movement down in the South. I don't know if you've heard it, but it has become the theme song. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. Though I've joined hands so often with students and others behind jail bars singing it, we shall overcome. Sometimes we've had tears in our eyes when we joined together to sing it, but we still decided to sing it. We shall overcome. No, before this victory is won, some will have to get thrown in jail some more, but we shall overcome. Don't worry about us. Before the victory is won, some of us will lose jobs, but we shall overcome. Before the victory is won, even some will have to face physical death. But if physical death is the price that some must pay to free their children from a permanent psychological death, then nothing shall be more redemptive. We shall overcome. Before the victory is won, some will be misunderstood and called bad names and dismissed as rabble-rousers and agitators. But we shall overcome. And I tell you why. We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever. We shall overcome because William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed to earth will rise again. We shall overcome because James Russell Lowell is right. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. We shall overcome because the Bible is right. You shall reap what you sow. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. And with this faith, we will go out and adjourn the councils of despair and bring new light into the dark chambers of pessimism. And we will be able to rise from the fatigue of despair to the buoyancy of hope. And this will be a great America. We will be the participants in making it so. And so as I leave you this evening, I say, walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great chapel meeting in the corner.
That was the doctor. He said we shall overcome. Ain't no question or doubt about it that we shall overcome, but we can't overcome if we just sit down. You know, once upon a time, they told Dr. Martin Luther King to cool down. You know what he told them when they told him to cool down? Because they was telling, the courts was saying something that was against the Constitution. And they told Martin Luther King to just cool down. In other words, stop for some of this here marching and complaining. You know what he told them? He said, we done cooled down too long. He said, if we cool down any longer, we'll be in what they call a deep freeze. You see, if you cool down too long, that's where you're going to be at, in the jailhouse, in the deep freeze. You're going to be in somebody's cotton field. You see what I'm saying? Picking cotton for nothing. You follow what I'm saying? You're going to be in a deep freeze. You know, I'm going to tell y'all something. Those that don't know, that's nothing prejudiced about me. One thing about me, I don't see when one police do something wrong, I don't take it out on all police. You see what I'm saying? Because I know it ain't all police's fault. When one white person do something to me, I don't take it out on all white people. You know, even though what the chief of police and some of the other police done in the past, you notice I tried to make December where I'm just talking about, you know, season to be jolly. But when something happens, it's my job to let the people know, those that's concerned. Some people ain't concerned. Some black people is not concerned. Just like Obama, for instance, okay, you know, nothing personal. But when you was running for president at first, you against gay marriages, and then when you running again, then you there's no problem with it. You know, you for abortion, then you against abortion. You know, let me tell you about all these leaders, man. Obama said all the old people need to sit down. You got some old people with wisdom. I don't know what he consider old. I'm 61 and be 62 next month on Martin Luther King's birthday. May he rest in peace. But Obama is 58. I don't know. My daughters and them will consider him as old. You see what I'm saying? I would consider him as young because he's younger than me. But at the same time, he says that all women. Now, if all women took over, and what if they ain't none of them godly women? One thing about me, I think this country would be better and this world would be better if it was all God-fearing people that's running. You see, this country wasn't found on God because on the money it says, in God we trust. And what God do you trust that says it's okay for man marry man and women to marry women? It's just not happening. In what country do God allow the Ku Klux Klan to still stand and not being considered a hate and a terrorist group? In the United States. But I'm gonna leave y'all with this here. Just because a person is black, Obama served for 8 years. You see what I'm saying? His 8 years is up. He done changed. Every time he turn around, he done changed. He for gay rights, then he not for gay rights. He for abortion, then he not for abortion. Now that he can't run no more, he got a wife and he got 2 daughters. And now it's gonna only take women to get this world right. It ain't gonna just take women. It gonna take anybody that's God-fearing. You see what I'm saying? Anybody that's God-fearing. But I'm gonna leave y'all with this here. You can think what you want to think about me, but I call a spade a spade. You see what I'm saying? When you're playing spades is trumps. You follow what I'm saying? When you're playing dirty hearts is in control. And when you talking about God-fearing people, you ain't just talking about women. You see what I'm saying? God said man was lonely, and he put man to sleep according to the Bible, and got the woman out of the man's rib. But anyway, you can think or you can go with what Obama says. You see what I'm saying? In other words, all these other Democrats that's running, Obama telling you, don't vote for neither one of them. You see what I'm saying? But he ran against Hillary. Y'all think about it. I'm going to leave for right now, but I ain't going to never stop. And this is not just an attack on Obama. It's not an attack period on Obama. It's just to show you some facts. You follow what I'm saying? If we went on And this is nothing personally against people that's gay, but I'm just saying, if you God-fearing, peace be still.